We are starting with the hero section. So first thing we want to do is change the width of our page. Right now it's 1200. Let's change it to 1440 pixels. What I want to do next is change the fill color to 060607. And then let's click on the plus icon right here next to layout. And now we can place our texts inside our page. So I have my text ready here. So I'll start with the main heading. I'll just copy it here and press T to paste it. Just like that. And I want to delete this style, remove it. And then I want to change the font to outfit. And then I want to change the color. Right now it's 666. I want to change it to white. As you can see, you can manually select the colors, the color that you want, or you can just type a value. The next thing that we're going to do is to change the size to 86 pixels and maybe the weight, I'm not sure. Yeah, let's change the weight to medium. And the next thing we're going to do is to change the width to fixed instead of fit. So we're going to change the width to fixed, and now we have these blue dots on each side. So grab a side, it doesn't matter which one, and just make the text narrower, just like I did. And after that, we'll go to align right here and change it to center. The next thing we're going to do is change the line height to 1.3. And now I'm ready to move on to the next text layer, which is here, which is the subheading. I'm going to copy it and then press T and paste it. Now again, I want to remove the styles and change the font to outfit, just like the main heading. And then I want to change the color to white again, but this time I want to give it 60% opacity. And change the size to 18 pixels and change the width to fixed again, and narrow it down, narrow it just like that. And also make sure the align is centered. Okay, now I have the text for the CTA, CTA1, CTA2. These are the buttons. So view my work and about me. So we'll press T on the keyboard and type view my work. And it's already in outfit. The font is already outfit, and we need to change the color to 100% opacity white. And let's change the size to 16 pixels. And then let's add a stack. So you can do it by hitting Control Alt Enter, or just right click on the text layer and add stack. So now we have a new stack. Let's call it view my work button. And let's change the width to fit content and add padding. So you can add padding. You can add general padding like 20. It will add 20 pixels from each side. But we're going to do a different sort of thing. We're going to add padding, different padding values to the top and to top and bottom and to the sides. So I want the top to be 6 pixels, the bottom also 6, and right and left will be 24 pixels. Next, let's add a color to the fill color. Let's leave it at white. And now we need to change the text, the color of the text inside. So let's change it to 060607, just like our background color. Next, we'll add a radius. So I think 8 looks good. And we are ready to duplicate it and create our second button. So in order to duplicate anything, you can just use the keyboard shortcut Ctrl+D. And now we have our second button. Let's change the name of the layer to About Me button. And now double click on the text and change it to About Me. So now I want to change the color of this button. Maybe we'll just leave it at white, but let's change the opacity to 20%. And now we need to change the color of the text inside. So let's go with white 100%. And we can give it some faint border. So let's click here, add border, and let's choose white. But we can also play with the opacity. So let's go with something like 10% or maybe 15%. And now I want to select both of my buttons. I can do this by just clicking, holding Shift and clicking both of my layers. And then add stack, or I can just select them from the page. Just like click, drag, and release to capture them. But let's do it like this. Right click and add stack. So right now we have a stack and both of our buttons are placed inside it. So let's change the stack name to CTAs. And then from the right panel, let's change the direction to horizontal and the gap between them to 12. So let's go back to the texts we have right here. So I'm gonna copy it, go back to the home page, click on T on the keyboard and paste the text. I want to remove the styles again, select outfit, change the color to white and the size to 14. And now I want to use the arrows on my keyboard to place it on top. You can play with the position with the arrows on your keyboard, or you can just drag it and place it on top. So the next thing we're going to do is press F on the keyboard and let's click on the home page and drag and release. Now we have a frame and I want to change the width and height to 8 pixels. The next thing we're going to do is to change the radius to 50. Just like that, and then change the color to white. Now I'm going to select the product and brand designer text and the circle, the dot, the little circle, and right click and add stack. Let's call the stack pill. And then change the direction to horizontal. Let's also change the gap to 8. And then we can place the circle to the left of the text. The next thing we're going to do is to change the width to fit content and add some padding. So the top and bottom padding will be 4 and the right and left padding will be 16. Let's add radius, I think 50, and let's add also a color. Let's choose white and change the opacity to 20%. Yep, 20%. That's good. We can always come back later and change it and improve it even more. So now let's select all the elements we have here and use the keyboard shortcut Control-Alt-Enter to place them all inside a stack, which we will call center. Now, from the right panel, let's increase the gap to 24. That's much better. So the next thing we're going to do is add another stack. So let's do the keyboard shortcut Control-Alt-Enter, and this stack will be called hero. Now let's change the height of the stack to 800 pixels. And now let's add a background image by clicking add next to fill, and we'll select the far right icon and then we'll click on the button that says choose image. Now I can select an image. I'll choose this one. And there we have it. We have a background image, but I want to make it, but now let's improve it even more. Let's blend the background image with the background color of our page. So what we can do is go to styles and choose mask. And now we have our mask. So now we can play with the mask, but we have a new problem. The mask is on the entire hero stack. That means that every element inside the hero stack is affected by the mask. So that's a problem and we don't want that. So let's see what we can do to fix that. So let's just remove the image and remove the mask, and let's press F on the keyboard, click on the page, drag, release, and now we have a new frame. Let's set the position type to absolute, and change the width and height to 100%. So now let's replace this color with an image. So we'll click on the color, and then we'll click on this icon, and then choose image, and then I'll choose this one again. And as you can see, all of our elements disappeared. But don't worry, we can fix it by changing the Z index to 0. And that's it. So now let's add the mask. Let's click on styles, choose mask. As you can see, we have a beautiful mask blending the two backgrounds, and everything stayed the same. Nothing is darker, nothing disappears. There is no overlay on our elements, on our text, and on our buttons. So that's it for today. I'll see you in the next lesson.